The strengthened coordination rules are to be agreed as part of the proposed Europe 2020 strategy for sustainable growth and jobs. The draft summit conclusions set a June 2010 deadline for the European Commission to present its plan, stressing that the proposal should make full use of the new economic coordination instruments offered by the Lisbon Treaty. Okay, the EU Council of Ministers, representing the 27 member states, they can adopt measures concerning Eurozone countries in order to strengthen the coordination and surveillance of their budgetary discipline and to set out economic policy guidelines for them. Hello, they're not doing it themselves. These member states, the Council of Ministers is setting out their guidelines for them. See, it's telling you this. EU leaders are also pressing the European Commission to shortly present proposals on possible innovative sources of financing, citing the global transaction levy, which has been widely debated in Brussels. Okay, a levy, see, there'll be consequences if you don't go along with their policy guidelines. That's the point. If you don't go along with the global, you'll be fined, you'll be targeted with, you know, more levies or taxes. This is the game. Fines for not obeying the masters. Jose Manuel Barroso, President of the European Commission, proposed 5 headline targets on employment, climate change and energy, education, research and poverty reduction, and suggests that policy warnings should be issued for EU countries that fail to meet them. Warnings. Member states are required to present their domestic targets in a national reform program to be delivered each year. See, you have to report back to the Commission to tell them what you're going to do, how you're going to obey their orders, basically. What, you know, prove to them, I'm doing this, so be nice to me, don't fine me, we're being good. Angela Merkel, who expressed fears that closely linking the two would make fiscal surveillance unnecessarily political. Okay, they wanted to keep the timing of this report separate from reporting the Eurozone Stability and Growth Pact. And that's another thing they have meetings about. I mean, this is so entrenched all over. There's so many organizations and so many boards and commissions and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, the UN, that's how it trickles down. But it's all this, the Euro Commission, and it's too much. And just think of how many people are involved in this nightmare of control. It's such a waste. See, they have targets and criteria they have to meet. That's the thing. I was already saying that, you know, you have to do this, show us how you're doing it, or else, you know, or else there will be consequences. Now, continuing from this article, I wanted to get into, as I said, that one was from a year ago. Now, 2 days ago, just showing you, you know, a little trickle down timeline here of what's become of that. This is March 11th, 2011. Euro leaders agree closer economic coordination. Now see, I just read how, you know, a year ago they planned it. Now they're coming out and saying, oh, we agree now. Leaders of the 17 countries that use a euro agreed Friday to better coordinate their economic policies to improve competitiveness and keep public deficits in check. Now, the so-called Pact for the Euro, formerly dubbed the Pact for Competitiveness, is an important prerequisite for Germany, the Eurozone's biggest economy, to extend further help to the Eurozone's weaker members as the currency union struggles with a crippling debt crisis. See, the more affluent countries, or they have, the ones that are more wealthy, have to give into the fund to help out the lesser wealthy countries. And they have to do it because they're part of this union and they're under the control of the, you know, the globalists, the controllers. So whether you like it or not, you're going to do it. Germany, you're going to give the money. It's a pact. Eurozone leaders commit themselves to hit annual benchmarks on economic competitiveness, supposed competitiveness. That's no, that's a deceptive word there for them. Boosting employment and making their budgets sustainable in the long run. They're sustainable again. In addition, member states will commit to consult their partners on each major economic reform having potential spillover effects before its adoption. Well, of course it's going to have spillover. Everything one country does is going to affect the other because they're in a union. But see how they have to consult their partners. Oh, keep an eye out. That's another buzzword, our partners. When you hear a MP or a president or whatever talking about our partners, that's another buzzword for, global governance. Sanctions are not foreseen in the pact, but officials stress that the leaders would make concrete commitments to each other, which would be enforced not only by peer pressure, but also by negative reaction on financial markets. Well, earlier in the day, the Eurozone's weakest states, such as Greece and Ireland, pleaded for more help as markets remained unconvinced that they will become financially self-sufficient anytime soon, despite a long series of brutal austerity measures. We are on track with our program. We have taken the pain to make our economy more viable, said George, can't pronounce his name, the Prime Minister of Greece. But we now need European decisions, strong European decisions, to calm the market. See, it's not a sovereign national government country. We need European decisions to calm the market. So see how the one country's messed up because they're all messed up. They have to play the game. Newly elected Irish Prime Minister Enda Kenny. I've come here with 2 days in government with a very strong mandate from the Irish people for an improvement in the terms of the EU-IMF deal. Now see, the IMF, International Monetary Fund deal. See, it's all about, they are supplying supposedly with the money, okay. IMF bails a country out, and guess what? So then it's total control. From there, that's just another way in to help control. Okay, you borrow this, but then here's the strings attached, and what you have to do besides paying it back. Here's the other things you have to do if we're going to bail you out, which they're the ones who screwed you in the first place to need bailing out. Meanwhile, Portugal, seen by many as the next most likely candidate for an international rescue, announced additional tax increases and money-saving measures to persuade other Eurozone states that it's doing its part to survive the crisis. See, prove that you're doing something. Show us, the documents. What are you doing to prove that you're worthy of some more money and bailout? Ugh. The governments of fiscally strong states such as Germany, the Netherlands, and Finland are reluctant to put up more money as pressure from their taxpayers grow. It doesn't matter what us as taxpayers are getting excited or angry about. It doesn't matter. It's trickling down on us. We see, this is the thing. We've got to take our power back somehow, instead of it trickling down us and them telling us we need to. Okay, representative government. We're telling. It's we the people. It's not them, the controllers. We gotta change this whole thing around, people. In light of those problems, investors and economists are demanding from EU governments new measures to tackle the crisis that go beyond massive national bailouts. Okay, so as I said, that was already planned of what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. And then today, the article, Euro leaders surprise with crisis deal. Ooh, big shock. We didn't know we'd come to this agreement. After harrowing late-night negotiations, the leaders of the 17-country Eurozone thrashed out a strategy on how to deal with the debt crisis that has crippled the currency union over the past year and already pushed 2 of its members to multi-billion euro bailouts. The fundamental path was hacked open, German Chancellor Angela Merkel told journalists early Saturday morning. Along the way, Merkel made some serious concessions, which might cost her when she faces her electorate at home. See? Sorry, Angela. What can you do? She has no choice, just like the rest of them have no choice. What are you going to do? Okay, if you think you had a choice, you'll be like what's happening in the Middle East now. You think you're going to call the shots. If they're going to come to you and say, okay, it's time for a change here, and then you as a leader is going to stand up and do something, well, there'll be military intervention eventually, won't there? If you don't play the game, you know, they're here to change into global governance. Everybody's going to play the game one way or the other. One way or the other. Through money or might or what have you. You will play the game. They're not messing around. Together with her Eurozone counterparts, Merkel agreed to boost the region's bailout fund so it can lend the full euro the European Financial Stability Facility money that it initially promised. The fund will also be allowed to buy the bonds of governments in financial difficulties on the open market, but only if the respective country is locked into a national bailout program based on strict conditions. See what I'm saying here, people? Conditions. And it trickles down to you. The conditions that they sign off on will trickle down to you. Greece gets more time to repay. Okay, on top of that, the country, which was the first victim of the crisis, will pay less interest. Okay, Ireland, the crisis' second victim, did not get the same leniency from the heads of state and government. It will have to wait for another summit for a decision on the interest rates of its €67.5 billion bailout. The reason for the holdout was Ireland's refusal to make concessions on its rock-bottom corporate tax rate, a long sore point for France and Germany. See, they didn't want to play the game Ireland don't want to play. So let's think about your interest rates. Oh boy. So at the same time, the Eurozone's weakest members also made concessions that made it easier for fiscally stronger countries like Germany, Finland, and the Netherlands to agree to help more. So see, they're all in this together. We're all in this together. Well, anyway, that was just some examples. And as I say, as a reminder to think about what you're reading, get familiar with the buzzwords, and just pay attention so you know, it helps to be in the know for your own benefit. And when the time comes, and I'm pretty sure the time will come, you'll want to talk to more people about it, or you'll know what's going on. When something comes up, you're gonna know why it came about and where it stems from. And if there's resistance to it, you'll understand what the resistance is. Not, these people are crazy, what are they talking about? You need to see what's happening in the world and why it's happening. Thanks for listening.